Hey everyone, I'm Ash, and I'm pretty confident that I'm one of your course-mates. But thanks to COVID, we haven't met. Today, I will be doing a presentation on intangible goods, also referred to as services, while I flaunt my gaming skills that I have drastically improved over the lockdown period. It is important nowadays to know about intangible product or services. Consciously or not, everybody sells intangibles in the market. No matter what you produce in the factory, you will require to deliver great service in order to increase your sales. Goods, products, and materials can be either tangible or intangible. However, often intangible products must be tangibilized. Is that even a word? Of course. Tangibilizing is the way of making services more tangible. For example, fast food centers like Macca's wrap their straws in plastic, or a hotel that shapes end piece of the toilet tissue into a fresh-looking animated design. This is particularly important when an intangible service is a part of a more comprehensive service, which is a guest staying at a hotel. This specific service can be provided earlier. In this case, it'll be before the customer checks into the hotel room. In this chapter, the key elements that I've learned are the basic difference between marketing of service and marketing of products, 5 service quality dimensions, zone of tolerance, and service recovery strategies. I will be taking you further into the details as we go through the presentation. Key ideas of a service product. One of the key ideas that I would like to talk about is the 3 product level model by Kotler. First would be need, second want, third is demand. Kotler outlined that there are 3 ways that customers attach value to a product. I will take you through all 3 of them. First is the need or the core. This is nothing but the lack of a basic requirement. For example, the customer needs to be able to ride a bike to work. So buying a bike is a need. Second is the want or the actual. This is a specific requirement for a product or a service to meet a need. Taking the example further, the customer also wants a carbon fiber frame to make the ride lightweight and makes the commute quicker. Third is the demand, or what we call as augmented. This is a set of wants plus desire and ability to pay to be satisfied. In our example, the customer knows they need a bike, they want a carbon fiber frame, and they have the means and willingness to pay for both. Learning the difference between service marketing and product marketing is another key idea of this presentation. The 4 factors that differentiate are intangibility, inseparability, heterogeneity, and perishability. We will look more deeply into these in the next few slides. Intangibility. We have learned that services cannot be referenced using the 5 senses, which are touch, smell, hearing, feeling, and taste. As with products, services cannot be displayed. This makes advertising more challenging as consumers cannot actually see the service being sold. Marketing tools are therefore required to make the intangible a bit more tangible so that customers are better equipped to make choices. For example, associating the service with positive feeling, such as joy and happiness.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
With regard to inseparability, we all know that consumption takes place after production. Therefore, a key difference between service and products is the interaction between the customer and the provider. Services are first sold, then produced and consumed simultaneously, whereas goods are first produced, then sold and consumed. This again poses challenge in marketing as customers and service personnel are both part of the consumption and delivery experience. Therefore, if a service provider wants to retain its customers, the marketing effect of service production and consumption process must be positive. This combination is critical to customers' perception of the service. This also plays an important role in their long-term purchasing behavior. The inseparable nature of service, as we saw in the previous slide, also results in heterogeneity of services, which is also called variability. This is because service and its quality are highly dependent on who provides them, as well as where, how, when, and to who it's provided. A grumpy concierge could spoil the experience of a hotel guest, which in turn leads to a bad or negative association to the brand. Marketers need to keep in mind that providing service is dependent on different people and elements. Therefore, ambience and location needs to be customer-centric, while training the service personnel is key to ensure and maintain quality. One good way to tackle heterogeneity is to incorporate self-service as a key component. Perishability is inevitable as services cannot be stored as inventory or saved for later use. For example, an airline seat that goes unoccupied during a flight has the revenue lost forever. Therefore, matching supply with demand is quite challenging. Lots of vacant seats on a flight, for example, could symbolize a weak element of marketing strategy. Further, supply and demand is seasonal. To manage this, the marketers could require a different pricing strategy, such as reduced rates during off-peak seasons, in order to encourage demand. This also affects staff requirements. The 5 service quality dimensions are tangibles, empathy, assurance, responsiveness, and reliability. In short, these are the 5 dimensions that every customer cares about. Reliability is doing what the company says it will deliver. The provider's first and best efforts are better spent at making service reliable. Responding quickly and promptly is crucial. A customer may be slow in getting back to the service providers, but the firm cannot afford to do so. Assurance is when the service providers are expected to be experts of the service they're delivering. Empathy is also important as services may be performed completely to specifications, which are better delivered with a smile, eye contact, or just asking the customer if there's anything else that they could do for them. This covers most of empathy. Even though tangibles is the least important dimension of this context, appearance matters. Service providers still want to make sure that their employees' appearance, uniform, equipment are at their best. The zone of tolerance. It is the difference between desired service and the level of service considered adequate. The larger the gap, the more likely the customer will be dissatisfied. It is important to remember that customer behavior, wants, needs, expectations are very fluid. It would be a mistake to think that customers have a consistent rule. Even at the same establishment, the rules or norms a customer applies will change depending on his or her situation. A mother who is late at picking up a child from school is clearly going to apply a different rule about how long she's going to wait in a line compared to someone who is at leisure shopping. This is something that all service providers need to understand when looking at a customer satisfaction. Service recovery strategy. When a situation with a customer is resolved quickly and properly, you gain significantly more loyal customer to a company. Service recovery is the key to effective complaint handling and customer retention. One way to think about service recovery is that it is a positive approach to complaint handling. Complaint handling has serious negative connotations, whereas service recovery has positive connotations. Service recovery practices are a means to achieve the potential value a customer holds for a company by fostering an ongoing positive relationship. It also creates positive word of mouth for the organization. Service gap model. It consists of knowledge gap, standards gap, delivery gap, and communications gap. And I believe that there is a high amount of overlapping between these four concepts. For example, communication could be the root cause of the issue here. I will definitely have to do more readings to comprehend this. Finally, I would like to throw a discussion question on automation. Are robots taking over our jobs? Are we losing empathy? Are the organization becoming more materialistic and losing touch of customer service? Is increasing level of automation adding or making jobs redundant? Where we need to have more machines in terms of ventilators to save the COVID-19 patients, the societies and governments failed. Even the most developed countries did not have the adequate life-saving equipment in the hospitals. Are we on the right path? Or are we losing human touch going about automating everything under the service sectors? Also, I thought it would be appropriate to leave the game ongoing to see who wins the match. Stay tuned.
Enemy in sight.